Welcome to Bassmaster Radio, presented by Phoenix Boats, the show for fishermen by fishermen. Today's show is brought to you by Enigma Fishing. Cast, catch, repeat. Visit Anderson, South Carolina, home of beautiful Lake Hartwell. Phoenix Boats, experience the difference. And by the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society. Now, here's lifetime BASS member, Thom Abraham.
And welcome back, Bassmaster Radio. And joining us now, a guy that, I'll tell you what, he's been around since the beginning of the Elite Series and before that. He's a veteran of the Elites. He does a tremendous job. There's no doubt about it. He will once again be in the Bassmaster Classic this upcoming year. I believe it'll be his 10th Bassmaster Classic. And he just comes off a second-place finish in Knoxville, and I'm sure he's looking forward to Pickwick as well coming up. He is Steve Kennedy. Steve, welcome back to the show, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad that you're joining us. And, man, I'll tell you, you were a model of consistency last year, finishing 14th, I think, in the points to make your 10th Bassmaster Classic. But this year, you've decided to take a different path. You were near the bottom at the St. Johns River at 78, and then you almost won in Knoxville. So trying to take a little different path, you're a little bit all over the lot here to start the season.
Yeah, it's pretty typical of me to be all over the map with these tournaments. I like to fish bigger baits around, and, sometimes I get burned by them. But yeah, St. John's, the first day, I drew first flight, pretty excited about it, and then we sat there for 3.5 hours in the fog, and so yeah, when you lose 3.5 hours of your day, it kind of hurts. Those last flight guys kicked my rear in that one for sure. But,
yeah.
I was on a little bit more than what I ended up catching, or I feel like I was.
Yeah. Well, it's not been your favorite place in the world, right? I don't know if it's a Florida thing or if it's a St. John's thing, but it's not a place where you've had a real great history in the last 3 or 4 times you've been there, right?
Well, maybe not the last 3 or 4. The first time we went, I think I finished 6th. I've had a couple of good ones down there, I think, but no, it's hit or miss. You're fishing for bedding fish typically when we're there, and yeah, if somebody gets in there in front of you and catches key fish, it's hard to be consistent down there. It really is.
Yeah.
But I love going down there. That's one of our favorite places by far. That Salt Springs every year is it's pretty cool to get down there and go swimming in the spring and actually see all the manatees and even saltwater fish that show up in 100 miles from saltwater.
You didn't see any snook or anything, did you? Or any redfish or snook or anything like that?
I didn't see redfish or snook. I hooked a couple of tarpon.
Did you really?
I did. I put 3 of them in the air. Out there in the mouth of the spring. But then, anyway, I couldn't stay out there. We had to go practice for bass at some point. But
that's funny.
So yeah, that might have been part of my not doing so well down there. It's hard to get away from those guys. But by the time the tournament was over, when we could go back out there and go fishing for them, it warmed up so much, and all of them were gone. But no, they run up into those springs.
Really?
Because it's just warmer water in the wintertime. And that's the first time I've ever seen tarpon there. But yeah, there's lots of saltwater fish. We saw mangrove snapper, stingrays, blue crabs. I mean,
really? That's a tarpon. Tarpon is a bucket list thing for me, actually. I mean, as I record today, I'm in Southwest Florida, and the tarpon are rolling all over the place in these canals, and I'm thinking of breaking out a rod and throwing a little topwater at them and see what happens, whether or not I can pick one of those up. But you end up. I've hooked up about 10 or 15 times now, and I've gotten 2 where I've touched the leader. I've never had one where I actually was able to pick him up. But yeah, I love hooking them for sure. Yeah, that first jump is incredible. So you go to Knoxville though, and there you won the tournament for largemouth. The only guy that could beat you was a guy that was fishing a lake that was completely different than anybody else, fishing a species different than anybody else. Of course, what Jeff Gustafson did, and would you have thought going in that you could have caught 20 smallmouth 18 inches or better like he did to win the thing? I mean, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't think you could win with all smallmouth. I think that's the big thing. I really felt like you need a mixed bag to win, and I actually weighed in a smallmouth on day 2. So So yeah, it's not unusual to have a kicker smallmouth in that 4 to 5 pound range, and but yeah, to do it all 4 days was pretty incredible. And yeah, if it weren't for that day 2 where I only brought 2 fish in, which one was a smallmouth, I think I could have challenged him a little bit more than I did, but.
No, I think you win the tournament. I mean, even Gussie said last week when we talked to him about his win is that, Steve Kennedy's day 2. I mean, think about it, because you're 14 pounds. You have the 20-pound bag, the big bag on the third day of the tournament, and then 15 pounds the final day. So even if you end up in that 14, 15-pound range, I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but, I mean, 8 more pounds, you win the tournament by a couple of pounds.
Right there. We'd have been close. There's no question we've been close. I just, you don't know which way it would have fallen. But, yes, but, again, I only had 4 bites that day and put 2 of them in the boat, broke one, and I remember, I just missed one. I remember swinging on it, but it was around some grass, so it popped out of the grass, and I backed off of my hook set, and then I hit him. I'm like, but didn't get a good hook set on him. But honestly, I didn't even have the bites that day. But again, I broke off a 4.5, 5 pounder my last cast on the final day too. So that one could have helped a little bit. But I think I could have been right there with him. But again, the way we were fishing, the way that tournament set up, it had been so cold the week before. The shad were dying when we first got there. Water was in the low mid 40s, and it was so hard to get a bite. I mean, they called me. Zona and them called me at about 11 o'clock the first day of the tournament on Skype, and I just caught my 3rd fish, which was like a 4-pounder, but I mean, I've been 2 or 3 hours to get that bite, and I had no idea where to go get another one. I'm like, why are you calling me? I'm struggling here.
Yeah.
But better than everybody else. So if I got a bite, if I got a bite, it was a good one. So
they had
it got better as it went on. So.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were struggling out there, and you actually showed some pretty solid consistency to get this 2nd place finish. And but I bet you're happy that things have started to warm up finally. It shouldn't be any more by the time you get to Pickwick. I don't know, the water's not going to be 75 degrees, but by the time you get there, I don't think you're going to be dealing with cold, muddy water. I mean, it would be it should be pure springtime fishing at Pickwick.
Yes, I'm expecting obviously a pre-spawn bite. It's supposed to be 85 here plus this week, which I'm a couple 100 miles south of there. But I guess there's a possibility we might see some spawners, but not really what I was expecting this early in the year. But yes, it should set up perfect, absolutely perfect. We got a big warm up this week, and should have lots of fish crashing the banks and. Lots of different ways to catch them, so it'll be neat to see how it works out.
What kind of history do you have at Pickwick? Have you fished it much? I know it hasn't been on the tour in a few years, but what's your history on Pickwick?
I think I have 3rd in an elite up there. I think I finished 3rd in it wasn't FLW. What was the EverStart Championship? I think I finished 3rd in the EverStart Championship up there, and I finished 2nd in a PAA Pro-Am type deal we fished up there, team deal. So I've got a couple of really good finishes, but kind of like my whole history, I got some bombs up there too. You never know what you're going to get on, and I don't want to get too hung up on that history because most of those tournaments were in the fall. But I love fishing up there. It's loaded with big fish. I saw some tournament reports lately where they had some 27, 28-pound bags weighed in, and so, yeah, there's some big fish in there, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
I would think that you're looking forward to a lot of this schedule here. I mean, you got the Texas swing coming up. By the way, the news that just came out this past week that the Sabine River has been moved from August back to its original date in April. You got to be excited about that. I mean, nobody was really looking forward to going to the South Texas in August. You know what I mean? I was afraid somebody would die down there.
Anytime you're changing up, it throws a curveball at us. But, yes, the fishing should be much better in April than in August by far.
Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah, looking forward to getting that one.
Yeah,
we got Fork in April. We got 2 in Alabama, Neely Henry and Gunnersville. I think both of those are in May.
Yeah,
which both of those could be really good. Gunnersville's always a good one. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to this season, no question. And it hurts like you said, that first day at St. John's burned me pretty bad, but yeah, hopefully we can keep the momentum going.
But I mean, between having Pickwick not too far from the house, and then as you said, when you get back from Texas, Neely Henry, May 6th through the 9th, Coosa River. We haven't seen a lot of that. You got to be excited about that. And as you said, Gunners, we'll get that in a minute. But you got to be fired up to see Neely Henry on the schedule for the elites.
Neely Henry's been really good to me.
It is.
I've won 3 events up there. I won 2 of the old BFL super tournaments, the 2-day deals, and then I won a PAA event up there. And then the next year we came back. We were doing those PAA tournaments. Yeah. I came back and I brought in 6 fish on the first day.
I was there.
I had to throw back. You were there?
I was there. I was fishing in the tournament as well, and you had to throw back a 5-pounder or something. I remember it's like
it would have been the big fish of the tournament, and we had to weigh 2. I had 2 5-pounders, so I had to throw one of them away. And then the next day I caught only caught 3 fish, but I ended up catching the big fish of the tournament. I had another one, maybe 580. I don't know what it was. It was a big one, but.
I remember
that. I didn't even make the cut. I didn't even get to go fishing on the final day because we threw back my biggest fish from the tournament. So
I remember that. I remember
I have a really, really good history up there. But again, we're there a different time of year. Those tournaments were fall tournaments, and I guess we may have been there in August for that PAA deal. But
it was
later in the year type deal where I've won. So.
Well, I got a feeling it's going to be a big one for you. Last time the Classic was in the state of Texas, you finished 2nd down in Houston. I'm looking forward to that as well, seeing you out at Ray Roberts. Obviously, it's a completely different fishery, but that's going to be fantastic stuff. And I have a good feeling about you this season, Steve. I wish you the best of luck, and I appreciate you coming on with us, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I went and checked out Ray Roberts back last year. I guess after Fork it was.
Yeah, right there.
I caught my personal best. I caught a 10-10 out of Ray Roberts out there. So
wow.
There's going to be some big fish weighed there. They've juggled our schedule around there a little bit too, but I still think we're going to see some really big fish weighed in out of that one.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Well, good luck the rest of the season, and we'll make sure we talk to you again.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Later.
That's Steve Kennedy. How about that? I mean, that's good stuff right there. All right, when we come back, our Rapala Winner's Circle is up next. Keith Tuma, he got the win in Florida at the Bassmaster Southern Open down there. We'll talk to him right after this. Bassmaster.